Really disappointing game for us as a team. I think the most important thing for those of us inside of our program is to always remember that we win and lose together. Us is me plus you. And that goes for me and every other member of our team. Today was not our best game. Our job is to bring our best every night, every day, not just in a rivalry game. But Wisconsin deserves a lot of credit as well. I thought, they played with really good aggressiveness. They shot the ball with, I should say Klesmet shot the ball with, as we say, an approach goal mindset. He wasn't shooting not to miss. He was shooting to try to make the basket. And that gave them just an unbelievable lift. You got to make a guy like that miss when he's got it going or before he gets it going. But for us, we always break our games down culturally, defensively, and offensively, and we weren't good enough in any of those three phases today. So hopefully it'll be a really good learning experience.
Shaka, over half your attempts came from three-point range. Are you happy with that percentage, or what do you think of that?
I'm not
just
happy
in
with
general?
the three-point percentage, if that's what you're asking. We shot 25% from three.
Just the percentage.
You're
of
saying the
shots.
breakdown of shots? This question gets asked a lot to basketball coaches. You don't predetermine the number of threes you're going to take. I think we played a game recently where we only shot in the low teens. So, it's really based on the way that you're guarded. Let's see. We shot 28. I'll take about 20-something of those. I'd say maybe a handful were forced where we should have passed the ball. But, right now we're shooting not to miss too much. And those ones we shouldn't take. As a player, you have to have the audacity to believe you can make the shot. And that's something for us to work on. But there's not a specific breakdown that you look for. Wisconsin plays defense differently than Illinois played defense. So it's going to be a different breakdown of shots.
What does UW do defensively just to mess up your offensive flow?
Well, today, I thought, they had good aggressiveness. Honestly, it was they were more impressive to me on the offensive end than anything. I thought on our offensive end, they played with good aggressiveness. I thought Crawl was very good around the basket, just bothering some shots. Wall is a good helper. He helps guys. Hepburn, Klesmet, they play with good physicality. But, honestly, we have to be better, with a lot of the things that we do.
Jeff. Shaka, would you include in that one of the things you guys need to be better at, and they did well today, was hit the offensive glass?
Absolutely. They got over half their misses back. So anytime, let's see, they got 52% of their misses back, and we got 17% of our misses back. And I don't know, with 12 or so minutes left, there's a one-point game. So I told the guys after, I said, hey, we clearly have a long way to go building our championship habits on the defensive end. Guarding the basketball, blocking out and rebounding, being quicker to the ball, defeating screens, contesting outside shots, clearly. And it's December 2nd, so it's an opportunity for us to grow and learn. A game like this hurts. There were some tears in the locker room because guys really want to win. But it's time to be a big boy, and step forward, and that goes for every one of us.
Right there, Coach.
You touched on this a bit, but when you were watching film and just going out there today, what would you say makes Wisconsin such a challenging team to match up with?
Well, I felt like I told Brian Butch this before the game because we gotten to know each other some from, him doing our games. And I said, Wisconsin's a lot better than people know. and I didn't mean like here locally, but around the country. Let's see. A lot of experienced, tough players. A very good system, well coached. I think they do a really good job kind of mixing up their attack on the offensive end, mixing post-ups with pick and roll, with screening off the ball. And it's all stuff that you can't really lock in on defending one thing. You've got to be ready to guard this thing, and then 10 seconds later guard that thing. And then they've got some guys that can make some tough shots. You know, I thought, you know, a couple of the tough mid-range shots that they made were big for them to kind of extend the lead back after we had cut it down. And then again, the offensive rebounding. Those two guys on the glass are a load. And we did a poor job against them.
Right here and then
For such a good offensive player, Jop's kind of struggling right now. Just what's your message to him?
We got a lot of guys struggling on offense, at least today. My message to him is, I love you, I believe in you, and it takes what it takes. So sometimes in life, two things can be true. He's going to have to really look in the eye exactly what's required for him to be his best. And he's not on an island in doing that. We're, as coaches and teammates, we're going to continue to support him and help him and make sure he knows we have his back. But right now, he's going to have to find some controllable factors of basketball to build a level of confidence about some of the less controllable factors, like whether the ball goes in when you shoot it. And as a junior in college, that's a lesson that guys have to learn, but it's not the only one on our team. Tyler Kolek's the same thing. You know, we got a lot of guys on our team that people have said a lot of really nice things about, and everything that's been said is true when we are our best us. And today we weren't our best us. And Wisconsin deserves credit for impacting that, for sure.
right up front.
Forced quite a few turnovers out of the half. I mean, was there anything in particular they seemed
Just
like they're
play
susceptible
harder,
to?
play with more violence, play with more aggressiveness, play with approach goals instead of avoidance goals. And I thought did a phenomenal job of that. Now, the ball went in a few times for us, so that helps. But, you know, the disappointing thing I think about this game when we watch the tape will be there's the formula right there, the beginning of that half. And we didn't replicate that enough during the game.
How'd they clean that up, though? Because they didn't really turn the ball over much for the rest of the half, I guess.
I thought, you know, you have to ask them if there was adjustments they made, but I didn't think we were the same on our end. I'm sure they did some things, but if you look at our deflection count, I don't know the exact number. I'll have to look at it, but I'd say we got half of our deflections in less than a quarter of the game. That's a problem. And that's you know, a credit to Wisconsin adjusting or doing whatever they did, but it also says something about where we were at.
We got one question for Coach. Go ahead, please.
Yes, the slow start, was it just a question of being as hot as he was, or what do you think just contributed to kind of digging that hole early on?
Not playing defense with the level of desperation that you have to guard him with. It was like deja vu. Who was the really good shooter a couple years ago for Wisconsin? Played here like 100 years.
Davidson.
Davidson. Okay, so it's deja vu. Stagger for Davison running to the ball side corner on an out-of-bounds play. All right? Stagger for Klesmit running to the corner on an out-of-bounds play. They ran it in the first half, 3 points. Not tough enough. Not violent enough. They ran it in the second half, early in the half, defeated the screens. He caught the ball. We arrived, and we were close enough he could smell our breath. That was the difference. And right now, we don't have an understanding enough as a group. And again, it's on me, that you have to do that every time, whether it's Davison or Klesmit or Johnny Davis or whoever is going to play in the opposing team's uniform. And again, I give Klesmit a lot of credit. I like him as a player because he is like, I'm going after it. I don't care who I'm playing against. I don't care what anyone says. I'm going to play with a chip on my shoulder. And so maybe our team can take a cue from that, watching that, and maybe we can emulate him. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.